Hi, Haj. Welcome. I am Abu, and I'll be your counselor for today's session. Thank you for coming. How are you feeling today?
Hi Abu, I'm doing okay. Thank you. Bit nervous to be honest.
That is completely understandable. This is a safe space for you to share whatever on your mind. Before we dive in, I want you to go over a few guidelines with you. Everything you share here is confidential. I won't share any of this information with anyone outside this room without your permission. Unless there is concern for your safety or the safety of others. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Great. If at any point you feel uncomfortable or need a break, just let me know. We are here to work at your own space. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Yeah. Wonderful. Let's get started. I'm here to listen and support. To begin, can you tell me a little about what brings you here today?
Well, I have been feeling really overwhelmed lately with work and personal stuff. It's been hard to manage everything, you know.
I hear you. It sounds like you've been dealing with a lot. Can you share a bit more about what's been overwhelming you?
Yeah, sure. Work has been super stressful, first of all. My boss has been giving me more tasks than I can handle, and it's affecting my personal life too. I don't have much time for myself or my family anymore.
Wow,
So,
that sounds incredibly challenging. It is important to have time for yourself and your loved ones. How has this been impacting your well being?
well being wise, I have been feeling constantly anxious and tired. I can't seem to relax even when I'm at home. So,
That sounds tough. It is really important to find a balance. I'm glad you reach out for support. Let's explore this further together. Before we move on, I want to commend you for taking this step to talk about it. It is a big first step.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, it hasn't been easy.
I can imagine. As you continue on, I will be here to listen and help. My role is to assist you in finding ways to manage these stresses. Can you tell me more about specific instances at work that have been particularly stressful?
There's just so much to do. Last week, I had to stay late almost every night to meet deadlines. I barely saw my family.
That sounds really demanding. Staying late and missing family time must be difficult. Let's talk about some ways you have been coping with these stresses so far. Have you found anything that helps even a little?
Not really. I try to relax when I get home, but it's hard to switch off my mind.
It is understandable that switching off will be tough given your workload. Well, work on finding some stress strategies that might help you better manage this stress. For now, I want you to know that you are not alone in this, and we can find a path forward together. Thank you for sharing that with me, Ash. Let's dive a little deeper into what has been happening and try to get a better understanding of the situation. You mentioned that work has been a major source of stress for you. Can you describe a typical day at work for me?
Yeah, sure. I usually get to work around 8 a.m. and immediately I start checking emails. My boss often has new tasks for me by the time I get in, and I have to prioritize those along with my ongoing projects. It's a constant juggling act, and I'm never sure if I'm doing enough.
It sounds like your workload is quite intense and unpredictable. How do you prioritize the tasks that comes your way?
It is hard. I try to handle the most urgent ones first, but it feels like everything is urgent. My boss doesn't always communicate clearly which tasks are the most important, so I end up trying to do everything all at once.
Wow, that must be overwhelming. Not knowing what to tackle first. When you are juggling so many tasks, How does it affect your ability to focus and complete them?
How does it affect my ability to focus and complete them? I feel like I'm constantly behind, even when I'm working late, I can't seem to catch up. It's stressful, and I worry about making mistakes because I'm so tired all the time.
Wow. Feeling behind and tired can definitely affect your performance and increase your style stress level. Aside from the workload, are there other factors at work contributing to your stress?
Other factors, yeah, definitely. The atmosphere in the office isn't great. There is a lot of pressure to perform, and everyone is always on the edge. My boss can be really demanding, and it doesn't offer much support.
It sounds like the work environment itself is also adding to your stress. Can you tell me more about your interaction with your boss? How do they usually go?
My boss is very focused on the results and doesn't really care about the process. If something isn't perfect, they are quick to criticize but slow to offer help. It feels like I'm like always walking on the eggshells.
That sounds very stressful. It is difficult to strive in an environment where you don't feel supported. You mentioned earlier that this stress is affecting your personal life as well. Can you share a bit more about that?
At home, I am just exhausted. I don't have the energy to spend quality time with my family or to do things that I enjoy. It's like I'm always carrying the weight of work with me even after I leave the office.
Wow, it is important to have time to unwind and enjoy yourself. So it is understandable that this situation is taking toll on you. How have your family members been reacting to this change?
I, family, they have been very understanding, but I know it's hard for them too. My partner has been picking up a lot of slack at home, and I feel guilty about not being there for them.
It sounds like you have a supportive partner, which is wonderful. It is also important to acknowledge the impact it had on them. How have you been managing your stress so far?
So far, I try to relax when I can, but it's not easy. Sometimes I go for a walk or watch a movie, but it's hard to switch off my thoughts about work.
Wow. Finding a way to relax and disconnect from work is crucial. You mentioned going for walk and watching movies. These are great strategies. Are there other activities you enjoy or have found useful in your past?
I used to enjoy reading and playing sports, but I haven't had much time for those lately. Uh,
Okay. Those sounds like great activities that could help you unwind. It is important to try and make times for things you love, even if it is just a little bit each day.
yeah, I miss those activities. I need to find a way to find them back into my routine.
Absolutely. Reintroducing activities you enjoy can make a big difference in managing stress. Now it's shift bit and talk about your strength. Despite all the stress, you manage to keep going. That is a significant strength. Can you identify any other strength or positive aspect? How you've been handling this situation?
Um, I guess I have been pretty resilient, even though it's been tough. I haven't given up. I try to stay optimistic and look for the solutions. I think.
That is great strength to have. Resilience and optimism can go a long way in a difficult situation. Are there any other strengths you notice about yourself, maybe skill or qualities that have helped you cope?
Um, I think I'm good at organizing my tasks and managing my time, even though it feels overwhelming sometimes. I also try to stay positive and support my colleagues when they are stressed too, because we are in the same workspace.
Those are fantastic qualities. Your ability to recognize and manage time and your supportive nature are definitely strength. They show that you have the skill to cope with challenging situations, even if doesn't always feel like it.
Thank you. It's nice to hear that. Uh, I do try to my best, like to keep things in order.
Wow. Acknowledging your strength is crucial. That can be a powerful tool in managing stress and finding a solution. Let us also consider any support system you have. You mentioned your partner being supportive. Are there other people or resources in your life that rely on you can rely on?
Yeah, I have a few close friends I can talk to, and my family has always been supportive. My partner is definitely my rock.
That is wonderful to hear. Having a supportive network is unavailable. It is important to lean on them when things get tough. How do you typically seek support from them?
I usually talk to my partner about what's been going on, and sometimes I vent to my friends. They help me put like things into perspective because everyone's going through things.
It sounds like you have a strong supportive system. That is great access in dealing with the stress. Let's think about how you can leverage this support system more effectively. I- Are there specific way you would like to involve them in helping you manage stress?
Uh, Maybe I could be more open about what's going on. Sometimes I keep things to myself because I don't want to burden everyone.
It is understandable to feel that way, but rather they are about you and you want to help. Being open and sharing your experience can actually strengthen your relationship and provide the support you need.
Yeah, you're right. Uh, I'll try to be more open about my struggles from now.
That sounds like a great plan. Being more open can help you feel less isolated and more supported. You have covered a lot today and you have shared some valuable insight. Before we wrap up this stage, it is there any else you would like to talk about or any other aspect of your situation you think are important for us to discuss?
I think I have covered like main points. I feel a bit better having talked about it all.
I'm glad to hear that. Remember, identifying the problems and understanding your strengths and supporting systems are important steps in managing your stress. We will continue to explore these areas in our next session. Harsha, you've done a great job sharing about the challenges you are facing and identifying some of your strengths. Now, let's think about the outcome you would like to achieve through our counseling session. To start, what changes or improvement are you hoping to see?
Uh, Improvements. I want to manage my work stress better so that it doesn't affect my personal life so much.
Mhm.
I need to find a balance, I think.
Finding a balance between work and personal life is a very important goal. When you think about managing your work stress, what specific changes will make the biggest difference for you?
If I could manage my time better at work and not bring the stress home with me, that would be a huge help. Also, having a clearer communication with my boss about priorities would make things easier.
Those are very practical and achievable goals. Let's break them down further. Um, what will effective time management at work look for you?
I think it
Look like for you? Yeah.
yeah, I think it would mean being able to prioritize my tasks better and maybe setting some boundaries about how late I work. I think I need to find a way to get things done without staying so late every night.
Yeah, setting boundaries and prioritize tasks can definitely help. Are there any strategies you have thought about or tried before that might help with this?
I have tried many things. I have tried making to-do lists, but they don't always work because new tasks keep coming in. Maybe I need to do more assertive, I think, about what I can realistically handle.
Hmm. Being assertive, right? About your workload is a great approach. It is important to communicate your limit and ensure that you are not overburdened. How do you feel about discussing this with your boss?
Th- Because of the person he is, I'm a bit nervous about it. I don't want to seem like I'm not capable of doing my job, but I know I'll need to speak up.
It is completely normal to feel nervous about this conversation. It is important. It might be helpful to prepare what you want to stay in advance. You you can work on that together if you like.
I think that would be really helpful, actually. You know, yeah.
Great, great, great. We can role play that conversation to help you feel more comfortable. Let's also consider how you can manage the stress that you do experience. What are some activities or practice that you can do regularly to help you unwind?
I think getting back into some of my hobbies, like reading and sports,
Mm,
would help, I think. Also, making sure I take breaks during the workday could
mhm.
make a difference.
Wow, those are excellent strategies. Making time for hobbies and regular break can significantly reduce stress. Let's also set a goal around how you will incorporate this activity into your routine. What do you think will be realistic?
I could start by setting aside at least 30 minutes a day I think, for something I enjoy, like reading or going for a walk. And I could aim to take short breaks every couple of hours at work.
Wow, that sounds very manageable and a great way to start. Establishing a routine for a break, leisure activities can greatly improve your overall well being. Now, let's talk about your goal for clearer communication with your boss. What will that work or will that look like for you?
Ideally, I'd like to have regular check ins with my boss to discuss my priorities and workload. It would help if we could be on the same page about what needs to be done first.
That sounds like a very constructive approach. Regular check in can ensure that you both have a clear understanding of your tasks and their priorities. How often do you think these checks in should happen?
Maybe once a week or every other week is also fine, depending on our schedules. Just something regular enough to stay aligned.
That sounds very reasonable. Having a regular check in schedules can help prevent misunderstanding and keep your workload manageable. How do you feel about proposing these ideas to your boss?
I feel a bit more confident about it now. It seems like practical solution that that could help.
Okay, excellent. Remember, the goal is to create an environment where you can thrive. Regular communication with your boss can be a big part of that. As you move forward, it is important to keep track of your progress. How will you measure your success in these areas?
I guess I could track how often I'm able to stick to my new routine and whether my stress levels improve. Also, noting any changes in my interactions with my boss could be helpful.
Tracking your progress can be very motivating. It is good way to see what is working and where adjustment might be needed. Y- We can review your progress together in our sessions. How does that sound?
That sounds good. It will help me stay accountable and make sure I'm on the right track. So, yeah, that sounds good.
Absolutely. Accountability is the key. You have set some great realistic goals. Just to recap, your goals are to manage your time and workload more effectively. Have clear communication with your boss. Incorporate regular breaks and leisure activities into your routine. Track your progress. Is there anything else you would like to add or any other outcome you hope to achieve?
I think that covers the main points. I just really want to feel less stressed and more in control of myself.
Those are excellent goals. Feeling more in control and reducing stress will make a big difference in your overall and well-being. I'm confident that with these steps, you will make significant progress. We will continue to work on those goals together and adjust as needed.
Yeah, thank you. I already feel a bit more hopeful about things.
I'm glad to hear that. Hoping is a powerful motivator. Remember, you are not alone in this. We are this together, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. For our next session, we will continue to focus on those goals and start developing specific strategies to help you achieve them. How does that sound?
Uh, that sounds good. I'm looking forward to it, honestly.
Wonderful, wonderful. I would like to see you next week. Hatch, take care and try to implement some of the strategy we discussed today. If you need anything before then, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Sure, I will.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.